This is WKYT This Morning.
Good morning to you from WKYT. A lot going on early on this Thursday. I'm Bill Bryant.
And I'm Rebecca Smith. Hope you're having a great start to your day before Friday.
And our time right now is 6:31. Here's what's going on. We'll have a look at the damage to a southern Kentucky business that's been caused by an overnight fire.
A home break-in in Harrison County was caught on camera. I'll have a look at the men police are now looking for.
And keep on dreaming. The Powerball jackpot, nobody hit it, so it now hits an all-time high.
And so that means I get another shot at buying a $2 ticket and winning millions and millions of dollars. Temperatures are there in the 20s this morning, a couple of 30s sprinkled in here and there. As you're traveling, it's not as cold this morning, but it's still very chilly. We get into sunny skies throughout much of your day, and then afternoon, we're right around 49 degrees. We'll get into that forecast coming up.
And we began with a WKYT breaking news alert this morning. 17 miners are trapped about 900 feet underground in a salt mine in upstate New York.
Officials say an elevator broke down overnight. Those miners are not in any danger, according to local officials in Lansing, New York, north of Ithaca. A county spokesperson said efforts are underway to get those miners out of the elevator in the Cargill-owned salt mine. Now, this is video into our newsroom. Crews are working to rescue the men who've been trapped in that shaft since about 10:30 last night.
All right, we'll keep you updated. And, of course, CBS This Morning will have the latest in just a few minutes from now. The owner of a southern Kentucky business has a lot of cleaning up to do this morning after an overnight fire.
That fire destroyed a house and damaged the East Bernstad business on Kentucky 490 in Laurel County. WKYT's Mark Barber's at our live desk with a look at the damage.
Speaking about that fire that damaged a business and a home there in East Bernstad, we're told that that fire created quite a challenge for firefighters who were battling the flames along with the cold. Now, while the fire is out now, some of the water that firefighters threw at the flames, that is now frozen onto the road. So they're waiting for a salt truck to come through and clear up some of those icy patches. Now, the worst of the damage is found where the fire started, which was an abandoned trailer near the intersection of highways 1376 and 490 there in East Bernstad. This morning, there isn't much left of that trailer home. The flames melted through metal and cut through charred wood. As you can tell, in some places, that trailer is hardly even standing. The flames that destroyed the trailer also spread to an auction house. While firefighters were able to save that building, it does have smoke, water, and fire damage.
We made a good attack on it. There was no injuries reported from the fire department or anything like that. We got the fire out.
Firefighters are now trying to figure out how that fire started. From the live desk, Mark Barber, WKYT.
All right, the questions remain, but it is good to know no injuries there in Laurel County overnight. Caught on camera, police are looking for two men who ransacked a Harrison County home. Police say the men broke into the home Tuesday. Now take a look at this picture of them. It was caught on a surveillance system. The homeowner says they stole several of her belongings and left her home in a mess. The surveillance footage shows the men are in and out in just about 2 minutes.
It's great for us because without these pictures of these subjects, I wouldn't have anything to go on.
The homeowner says she installed the surveillance system after someone broke into her home about 2 years ago.
Two Franklin County firefighters were the ones in need of help after their fire truck crashed. The sheriff says the firefighters were responding to a call when the truck went off the road. These are eyewitness photos of the crash that happened yesterday. The driver overcorrected, causing the truck to flip onto its side. The sheriff says the two firefighters in the truck had minor injuries and were treated and released from the hospital. Hoverboards are now banned on the University of Kentucky campus. UK joins a growing list of universities telling students to leave the hoverboards at home. Federal authorities have warned that the self-balancing scooters are a fire hazard. UK says students no longer use, have, or keep their hoverboards on campus.
It shows you that this is not just something that's a knee-jerk reaction. It's something that is very concerning to us. Somebody is going to have a fire with one of these things, and I don't want it to be the University of Kentucky.
Well, UK says the ban will remain in effect until more information and better safety standards are in place. The fire marshal's office there at UK says it will temporarily store hoverboards for students who can't get them home safely.
Time this morning is 6:36 here on WKYT, and police are looking for a person who broke into a Richmond firefighter's home just days after he died. The coroner says 49-year-old firefighter Alfie Smith died last month of natural causes. But while his family was grieving, police say someone burglarized Smith's Berea home.
Tragic event for them. It's unfortunate that somebody would take advantage of that situation.
Deputies think the burglary happened on the day of Smith's visitation. At this point, they do not have any suspects.
A former Louisville high school teacher and coach will spend over 4 decades in prison for child pornography charges. A federal judge sentenced Patrick Newman to 42 years in prison. Investigators say he made, transported, and possessed child pornography. Newman pleaded guilty last year. Prosecutors say the charges involve 16 boys ages 12 to 17 from 9 states, including Kentucky. Newman used to be a teacher and an assistant football coach at Trinity High School.
All right, a lot of talk about this lottery this morning. The bad news is you did not win last night's Powerball drawing worth $500 million because nobody did. The good news is the next jackpot is going to be worth an estimated $675 million. WKYT's Michelle Chamberlain is joining us live.
Yes, Phil, a lot of disappointed Powerball players out there this morning as no one hit the grand prize of that estimated jackpot of $524 million. But you know what that means? Saturday's jackpot is going to be the highest jackpot ever at $675 million. I can't believe how high this jackpot has gotten. $675 million, and there were some $1 million winners in last night's drawing, but none of those in Kentucky. Did you know the largest Powerball ticket ever claimed in Kentucky was in January of 2010 when Rob and Tuesday Anderson from Georgetown won $128 million. Now the largest Powerball jackpot in history was in 2013 at $590 million. An 84-year-old Florida lady was the lone winner. She bought a quick pick, and statistics show that 80% of winners allow the machine to select their numbers for them. So keep them in mind when you go out to get your Powerball tickets for Saturday's drawing. That's the next drawing, Saturday night at 10:59. And our estimated jackpot right now is $675 million. And I'm sure that's just going to get even higher once Saturday arrives. Live in Lexington, Michelle Chamberlain, WKYT.
And they're already talking about good possibility it could reach 700 million or so.
Well, it's amazingly high now.
It's
so
way
good
up
luck.
there.
Yeah.
That's right.
Good luck.
Okay, here's a big winner. He had a busy schedule since winning The Voice.
And last night, Harlan County native Jordan Smith grabbed the national spotlight once again, singing a classic hit.
You are so beautiful to me. Can't you see?
That's Jordan singing there. And of course, the old Joe Cocker hit during the People's Choice Awards. He performed with Grammy-winning record producer David Foster. Since winning The Voice last month, Jordan was honored with a big parade in Harlan County. He also sang the national anthem at last weekend's UK basketball game. And you know, he had another big event in his life, Rebecca, right?
Yeah, he got engaged. So there's a cherry on top of that Sunday.
A lot going on in that young man's life, and we wish him well. It is coming up on 6:40 on WKYT this morning.
Now let's check traffic right now, see what's happening out there on the road.
Here's Officer Don checking on live drive traffic. Good morning.
Good morning. Well, we get a live look at Lexington traffic flow, and you can see that we have no problems right now to report, which is great news. Now, later they're going to work on the interstate on I-75. That especially is going to impact us southbound at the 113. I've been seeing that a lot in the afternoon with some pretty significant impacts. This morning, though, keeping a close eye, and as you can see, traffic flow through the northern and southern split actually looks pretty good. As far as our drive time's concerned this morning, with no major issues to report, we're good to go from Nicholasville, about 13 minutes. That's even past Man o' War, so that intersection's moving great. From Georgetown's taking about 17, Winchester 22, and average 31 or so from Richmond, depending on where you leave from and where you're headed to there in Madison County. Now back to you in the studio.
All right, should be a good ride in, and you can let Officer Don and Deanne ride along with you on 98.1 The Bull when you get in your car this morning. It's good to have you along. A lot more news coming up on WKYT on your Thursday.
He's a warehouse worker during the week, but on weekends he likes to deep sea dive looking for treasure. We'll tell you what he found that had one scientist very excited.
And we see that system back toward our west. Here comes the nice flow out of the south. That's helping us today, tomorrow, and Saturday. However, once these systems pass on through, here comes cold Arctic air and a little snow. I'll have that coming up.
Now, your hour-by-hour forecast with meteorologist Micah Harris.
Something pretty neat I want to show you this morning. If you're interested in just looking up in the sky, I've had a couple of questions about what is that bright star that's actually just to the right and to the upper right portion of the moon. That what you see there on the screen, just to the upper right, and I'll show you that once I get over to the weather wall. Here's the look. Okay, so here's the moon. Obviously, that is a tower off in the distance. But right there is where you see Venus. You can't really see it in this frame, but actually just to the south of that is Saturn. So if you look outside, the brightest one is actually Venus, and the one just to the south of that, or just to the lower left of that, in between the moon and Venus, that's going to be Saturn early this morning. You can see it with the naked eye, too. You don't need any binoculars. It's pretty cool. 30 degrees right now in Lexington, 23 there in Danville, 24 in Monticello. If you're going out there to check it out, you'll need a coat. There's no doubt about that. 49 degrees by the afternoon. Very decent feel in the forecast. And I say decent because I know that's still well above average. That's still on the cool side, though. I mean, it won't feel great. It's not like you can throw on shorts and a short sleeve shirt. I'll tell you this, though, teachers, this is the day you want to get the kids outside because it will feel fairly nice and also be dry, too. So this is the day you want to do that. Milder the next few days. However, the difference from today and the next few days, rain travels through. We'll get the rain for tomorrow. It's mainly during the first half of your day. I think the second half, afternoon and evening, look much better there for Friday for any plans you have going on. And once we hit Saturday, it becomes pretty widespread. Now go off into Saturday night into Sunday. That's when the rain travels on through, and then the wraparound cold air interacts with still some moisture left over. That'll give us those snow chances there on Sunday off into early Monday before it moves on out later on in the day Monday. But not only that, but an Arctic blast is on its way. I promise you that. And I don't make many promises with weather because weather is weird, okay? Mother Nature, she's just a weird person or just weird in nature, okay? You have rain there on Saturday, snow on Sunday, and here comes this big shot at some colder air. And not only that, but yeah, we've been talking about some snow, and you're saying, well, how much are we expecting? Who's going to see snow? When are we going to see it? Right now, I'd say Sunday is when you see it. How much are we going to see? We're 4 days out. It's hard to do it just 24 hours out. So right now, that's the question mark because of the track of the system. But in terms of who's going to see it, I would still say I-64 northbound has the best opportunity to see some snow. Once we get past that, then we're talking 20s for highs, guys. Very confident that we will have a big blast of Arctic air sliding on in for next week. So go ahead and get excited for that one. Here comes the 20s, right?
Oh, we just can't wait.
Right.
Oh, yeah, everybody get ready for that. All right, it is
Bone-chilling.
6:47 right now.
Well, a Canadian scuba diver found a foamy treasure on his latest dive.
Right. John Krause, who's glad it's not very cold, found all kinds of artifacts in Halifax Harbor, but it was a liquid-filled bottle that caught the attention of a bar owner and scientist. The bottle was intact and believed to be more than 140 years old, but the liquid inside turned out to be more valuable than the bottle itself. A scientist at a local university tested it in a lab, and the liquid inside was indeed beer and not just seawater. After tests confirmed it was beer, the group decided to give it a try.
Wow.
It tasted surprisingly good and surprisingly like beer.
For a sample that's been sitting on the bottom of Halifax Harbor for 100 years, it was surprisingly familiar as a beer product.
Wow.
Good brewers back then, I guess. The only one who did not take a sip was Krause. He says he has seen what the bottom of the harbor looks like from all of his dives, and that swayed him from taking a swig. So.
I was going to say, I mean, they're pretty brave to drink that.
Right. Yeah, really. I mean, unknown
You know?
substance, but interesting story
Beer.
this morning. A lot going on in the world. 6:48 is the time right now, and our top stories are on the way.
Yeah, we've got more of that when we return.
Coming up, breaking news. The latest on miners trapped overnight in upstate New York. Plus, trading suspended after China's stock market crashes again. What it means for world markets and U.S. investors. More real news coming up on CBS This Morning, next.
Coming up on CBS This Morning.
It's about 9 minutes away. Our time right now is 6:51. They will be having the latest on the FBI's hunt for a female jewel thief accused of stealing millions of dollars.
Why surveillance video isn't getting authorities any closer to capturing her.
That and more coming up. You see Charlie Rose there, about ready to go for CBS This Morning. Coming up at 7, just a few minutes away. An overnight house fire in Laurel County has damaged a nearby business.
It started just before 2 this morning on Highway 490 in East Bernstadt. We're told the fire started in and destroyed a mobile home. The fire also damaged an auction house next door. No one was hurt. New this morning, a man is in jail accused of raping a child. 36-year-old Victorian Falk is charged with rape, human trafficking, and several other charges. Police say he admitted to having sex with the victim, who was under the age of 15. He also told police that he forced the victim into prostitution. Saturday's Powerball jackpot will be the largest of any lottery game in U.S. history. The estimated prize for this weekend's Powerball drawing will be worth about $675 million. That's because no one matched the numbers drawn for last night's estimated $500 million jackpot. The previous record was a $656 million Mega Millions jackpot won in March of 2012.
All right, good luck with that. Well, there is turmoil in overseas markets this morning as stocks in China continue to tank. Trading has come to a standstill, and that's triggered some worries on Wall Street very early this morning. Jill Wagner is at the New York Stock Exchange with the latest on what investors here in the United States are expecting.
We could be in for another bumpy ride here on Wall Street today after China's stock market took a nosedive, forcing it to shut down for the day. Earlier today, the Shanghai index plunged 7% after just the first half hour of trading. That triggered an automatic circuit breaker or stop to trading. The big concern is that China's economy, the second largest in the world, is slowing down. China is one of the United States' biggest trading partners. Another concern for the markets, falling oil prices. They're now nearing a 12-year low. A global oversupply and less demand has sent prices lower. Concerns over the Chinese economy sent stocks in the U.S. to a 2-month low. The Dow suffered a triple-digit loss for the second time in 3 days, losing 252 points yesterday, and the NASDAQ composite was down 55. All in all, it's been the worst start to the year on Wall Street since the financial crisis. U.S. futures are already pointing to a much lower open. At the New York Stock Exchange, Jill Wagner, CBS News.
The time this morning is 6:54. Rescue efforts are underway in upstate New York, where 17 miners are trapped in a salt mine 900 feet underground. The scene is in Lansing, New York, north of Ithaca. Local officials say the miners are not in any immediate danger. They've made radio contact with them. The men are trapped in an elevator shaft after it broke down around 10:30 last night. Here's some photos from the scene into our newsroom. Firefighters say a crane from Auburn, New York, has arrived to help with the rescue. CBS This Morning will have the latest coming up at 7. The international community vowing to punish North Korea with additional sanctions following claims the country successfully conducted a hydrogen bomb test. U.S. officials as well as nuclear experts remain skeptical, saying a blast of that type would have produced a far more powerful outcome. If confirmed, this would be North Korea's 4th nuclear test.
Well, wherever you are today, we're right there with you with WKYT.com, so check out the latest news. Powerball mania this morning after nobody won. The jackpot grows to an estimated $675 million for Saturday's drawing. We have the latest info about the odds of winning that huge haul, and a lot more stories we'll be following up the next couple of days heading toward that drawing. We had fun with our web poll on it as well, by the way, asking, would you have been at work today if you had won that $500 million prize that was on the line last night? The largest chunk responded to the option saying, no, are you crazy? Some would give a 2 weeks notice, and about 9% say they love their jobs and they would stay. A campus-wide ban on hoverboards at the University of Kentucky. School officials are reacting to concerns that one of the most popular gifts of the past Christmas season are also a fire hazard. Read more about the decision on our webpage today. If you missed Jordan Smith's big performance on the People's Choice Awards here on WKYT, you can catch it online. Jordan performing the classic Joe Cocker hit, You are so beautiful. What a run it has been for him over the last few weeks, that Harlan County native. On Kentucky.com, UK broke a heart transplant record in 2015, 43 transplants over the year. That is a record for the state. Coach Cal calling it back to the drawing board time for the Cats after that loss to LSU and several challenging games on the horizon. CBS This Morning is coming up with your eye opener, and of course we will have local updates as well. They are ready to go there at the Broadcast Center in New York. For the latest, WKYT.com.
Yeah, we're looking good this morning. Mostly sunny skies once that sunrise is here in just about an hour. We'll get into the afternoon, 49 with a mixture of sun and clouds. Good news is we don't expect any rain today, guys. It's another good-looking day, and it feels much better, too. We'll bring in the rain tomorrow morning, and then we have widespread rain on Saturday, and then maybe a little snow on Sunday.
Maybe,
see how that turns out.
And then just a cold week next week, right?
Big time.
Okay, nobody is more up to date than you to start your day. Thank you for being with us on WKYT.
Have a great day.